You know what sucks? The night before Minijam 40, due to some loosely Halloween-themed shenanigans, I end up with a broken hand. Righty, the good hand! And a big-ass cast that makes typing and using a mouse next to impossible. Come on! Well, there was nothing for it. So I had to go to the local purveyor of cheap garbage for some supplies to get me through this one. The theme was hunters, so I started off by taking a pass through the toy aisle to try and come up with some sort of inspiration. But I also needed something to help out with my cripple hand.
Needed the smallest, cheapest. Hello.
See, I have a perfectly good gaming mouse, but this cast is so bulky that using something that big, giggity, wasn't going to work. So I had to swap it out with this crappy tiny thing. Since I didn't have much in the way of an idea yet, I just started working on modeling a character that looked a lot like Spike from the PS1 classic Ape Escape. With Ape Escape in mind, I wanted to make a simple platformer type 3D game that had a cool environment and cutesy monsters. For the animals, I actually bought a pack of the toys I looked at so that I could model them and eventually give them to my daughter. I'm not the best animator, but I think I was able to do a fair job at bringing a baby toy to life. Also, it was more than a little hilarious. So at the end of day one, I had a guy who could shoot an arrow and an animal that would run like hell from him. I'm not gonna lie, I spent the majority of Saturday doing some last-minute yard work and taking the babies to trunk or treat. Now this wasn't the strongest idea ever, so I tried my best to at least do a good job implementing the tracking mechanics by adding footprints that pointed at the animal that you were tracking, an orange glow around the target animal, and a book that told a little bit about where you could find each animal as well as collecting stamps for the animals killed. By the end of Saturday, I wanted to have the game running from start to finish without adding any more content that was necessary. So I added a victory condition that kicked in when you killed all the animals and a kill manager that transferred to a different animal whenever the target was killed. With a technically complete but terrible game, I could spend all day Sunday focusing on content. Sunday afternoon, I took the dog for a walk in the woods to try and get some inspiration for the wild landscape I wanted to create. However, I ended up deciding on an island setting when I remembered that elephants and hippos aren't too common in my area. I divided my island up into little microbiomes featuring an abundance of one type of animal each. At this point I was getting very close to the finish line, so I decided to add some quality of life improvements and try to work on some simple music. With 12 minutes left in the game jam, I submitted. I didn't have super high hopes for this game in the rankings due to its overall lack of interesting gameplay and its quirky mechanics, but the big takeaway from this jam was twofold. First, I figured out what is in my opinion the best vision of your time. Friday, you should be working on basic proof of concept and really try to refine your idea and come up with a solid plan and some sort of solid prototype. Saturday should be spent refining the prototype into the most minimal version of a complete game that runs start to finish that you can get away with. Sunday is the day where you start filling that game loop with content and making it something that you're actually proud of. All in all, I'm fairly proud of myself for getting to bed at 10:30 most nights and still spending time in the day with my family, and I think I conquered some old design hurdles with relative ease. So we'll see you at the next Game Jam, where I'll try to make something that people actually want to play.